It's my privilege to be with you today. Our mission this morning is to prove that kindness is wow. Early in the 1970s, this young lady and I fell in love. Our hearts told us that we were in love. Our government told us we're not allowed to be in love. What the apartheid government didn't understand is that love cannot be put in a box, and that love cannot be switched on and off by laws. And so the two of us left our fair country and we traveled to Australia, where we got married. They made us feel so welcome. It was so incredible. Where in South Africa we were the outcasts, in Australia we were just so welcomed. It was too beautiful for words. Anyway, we lived in Australia for a year, and I studied theology, and my wife was at home with the cat, and part-time I worked as a cleaner in a health food factory. Now let me assure you that if you leave your own country and you leave the comforts of your country and you travel to a foreign land to work as a cleaner, you've got to be in love. Anyway, after a year, we had to return to South Africa, and we returned with exactly 70 Rand in our pocket. That is $7 in our pocket. Not even enough to pay the first month's rent. But somehow we got on our feet, we started coming together. As things start coming right, two incredible experiences take place in our lives. The first is when I went to visit a friend in an old age home in Nigel. As I walked down the pathway to the front door of the old age home, all these old people were sitting on either side of the path, and as I drew nearer, they all leaned forward and looked at me as if they were expecting something. I was puzzled, and I walked on into my friend's ward, and in the ward there were about 10 old people sitting on their little chairs, and again, as I entered, they all leaned forward to look at me as if they expected something. Anyway, I visited with my friend, and on the way out, I asked the matron, now tell me, why is it that the old people lean forward and look at you like this? And she said, it's because they're hoping you're a friend or a family member. She said, sadly, most of these old people never get a visit from anybody. They are dropped here and they are forgotten here. And this absolutely stunned me. I had not been in touch with the real world. I lived in my little glass palace, and I didn't realize just how horrible the world really is around us. And I came home and I spoke to my wife about this experience, and we agreed together we need to somehow, God willing, make a difference in the lives of people. The second experience that overturned the way we think about life and that overturned the way we think about our purpose in life was a little demonstration that we heard in church one day. And I want to share this demonstration with you. Over here, we've got God with all the blessings in the universe. Then we've got Selfish Sam, and we've got Generous Jim. And then we've got the community. One day, God comes around to dispense his blessings to the community, and he comes to Selfish Sam and he says, Selfish Sam, I want to share my blessings with you, and I trust that you will share these blessings with others in the community. And God does the same to Generous Jim. He says, Generous Jim, take these blessings, please, and share them with others. Anyway, Selfish Sam just couldn't find it in his heart to give these blessings to anyone. He kept them to himself. Generous Jim, on the other hand, took the blessings and he went into the community. He gave some to the beggar down the road. He gave some to the charity down the street. He shared some with the church, he gave some to the poor old people who he knew were battling. Anyway, a little while later, God comes around again, and he's dispensing his blessings, and he comes to Selfish Sam, and he says, Selfish Sam, I'd love to give you more, but you haven't got capacity to receive more. He comes to Generous Jim, and he says, Generous Jim, you've been good and faithful with your blessings. Let me fill you up. And he fills up Generous Jim. And Generous Jim happily goes out into the community, confident that if you give more, you will get more. As two young people, we looked at this demonstration and we decided, well, we know how we want to live, and now we know how we can get together what we need to make a difference. And this little illustration absolutely did it for us. And so we came to certain conclusions. Conclusion number one, our capacity for receiving is governed by our capacity for giving. Young people, I wish I heard this when I was your age. Number two, we're not just here to make money. We're here to make money so that we can make a difference. Number three, you never lose what you give away. And we started shaping our lives around these conclusions, and we even found biblical support for these conclusions. Luke chapter 6 verse 38, give and it will be given to you. So first give and you will get what you need to keep giving. Then King Solomon once said, he who gives to the poor will lack nothing. And so Shelley and I took all these thoughts and these experiences, and we made two big decisions. First, we said we would like to contribute our lives to making a difference, helping charities, doing whatever we can to help those in need. The second was that we would help our church a little more than we were. At the time, we were giving 10% of our earnings to the church. And being a woman, she came up with a bright idea. Well, if you get more by giving more, why don't we give 20%? I said to her, no way. Let's first pay our debts, and then we'll do it. But being a woman, she got her way, and we started paying 20%. I can tell you something. It was one of the best things we ever did. A flood of blessings start coming our way. And in our instance, the blessings came in the form of ideas, big ideas. Our debts were paid in 3 months, just after making this decision. And they were substantial debts. We got so many ideas that we were able to share them with other organizations. And to date, those very ideas have generated more than R1 billion. Those ideas gave birth to Nature's Choice, which started in our laundry at home and has grown into a fantastic phenomenon. Nature's Choice at the moment is a phenomenon. It's been nominated Business of the Year by the local Chamber of Commerce just this week. It's experienced 20% growth throughout the recession. At the moment, it is currently growing by 52% year on year, and we can hardly keep up. And this started with two simple little people, and it actually started in our laundry. So start small and think big, and it'll work. And remember, if you give more, you will get more. Nature's Choice, so far we've had 9 buyout offers and interests, and it's just a phenomenon that is growing and growing. This is our factory on the R59. You might have seen it when you're driving by. Somebody told us, if you hang a plane on the side of your factory, your company is sure to take off. And the funny thing is, it's working. But it's hard to believe, friends, that this all began with humble beginnings. 70 rand, 2 ordinary people, one strong conviction that if you give more, you will get more, and 4 wonderful children who managed the whole operation for us. May I suggest that kindness is a brilliant investment? I would like to suggest that kindness is wow, because kindness saved our nation. South Africa, 1994. War is imminent. Gun shops are sold out. Those of us who were around or old enough to remember will know that it was a scary time. We didn't know what to expect at all. And Mr. Mandela came on the scene. After 27 years in jail, after all this injustice, he comes out of jail and he treats the enemy with kindness and respect and dignity. His second masterful move, after all this injustice and oppression, he comes out before the world wearing a Springbok rugby jersey. What an act of kindness. What an act to show acceptance. His third masterful move, in my mind, was when him and his team decided to include the Afrikaans national anthem in the new South African anthem. What an act of kindness. He blew them away, absolutely blew them away. And those acts of kindness transformed a divided nation into a rainbow nation. Am I right? So let's take this and have a look at it as a winning formula. Number 1, he shows love to the enemy. Plus, he's kind to those who hate him. Equals peace. Now, all the religions of the world would agree with this formula. They would go with it. But it's easy to believe in it, but it's another thing to apply it. Mr. Mandela applied it. Mahatma Gandhi, to some extent, applied it. Jesus taught it. Love your enemies. Be kind to those who hate you. And it works every time. It's what Mr. Mandela applied, and it worked wonders for our country. Love your enemies, be kind to those who hate you. So therefore I submit to you that kindness is a perfect weapon. Kindness never misses the target. Kindness always hits the enemy's heart right in the center. Kindness does not wound, it softens. Kindness always disarms the enemy. May I submit to you that kindness is a weapon of peace. Chapter 3, my wife and I are sitting in a restaurant, and we can see that the waitress has been crying. And we ask her, can we help you in any way? And she tells us this very sad story that I won't share with you. It touches me so deeply that I go off to the auto teller and I take out the maximum amount, come back to the restaurant, and I give her this amount of money. And she starts crying uncontrollably. The manager or the owner of the restaurant comes over and asks her what's wrong. And she tells him, and he starts crying uncontrollably. And I'm about to cry uncontrollably. And the next thing, the four of us are sitting at the table crying uncontrollably. And I tell you, 1 minute before that, we were total strangers. 1 minute after that, we were friends and family for life. I submit to you that kindness is wow, because kindness creates memories that cannot be forgotten. Kindness creates friendships that cannot be broken. Do you agree with me? Kindness is wow. Chapter 4. I'm sitting in the little dark, dingy town of Kimberley. I'm alone. I'm missing the family. I am depressed. I'm just wishing I was somewhere else, but in this ugly little hotel room that is yellow with nicotine stains from age. And I decide to myself, well, I'm not going to sit here all day because even the TV wasn't working properly. And so I took out a whole lot of notes and I went down into the town and I found the people who could appreciate these little gifts. It took about 2 hours and I walked back to the hotel a totally different man. The depression had gone. I no longer missed the family because I just extended my family in the town. And it was just remarkable the change that came over me. And the one thing I just want to share is that if you think kindness is good for others, it's amazing for you. It does far more for the receiver, for the giver, than it does for the receiver. May I submit to you that kindness is a fail-safe antidepressant. You can go out there and you can spend all the money in the world on antidepressants. Try a little kindness and see how good it makes you feel. And it works every time. A happy heart does good like a medicine. This is the word of Solomon. A happy heart does good like a medicine. So it rests on us to find ways to make our heart happy. And I submit to you that there's no better way of making your heart happy than to go out and to make somebody else happy. Go and make somebody else smile and see how that reacts on you and how it makes your heart smile. And when your heart smiles, every cell in your body will smile. And there's 100 trillion of them in your body. So making someone else smile is just a wonderful medicine for you. And so if we go in pursuit of happiness, here are a few ideas. And these are ideas that my wife and I cherish. We love doing these things. We live by it. We find so much fun in being kind to others. It's become a part of our life. Public toilets. Whenever you go into a public toilet, some child's mother or father is keeping that toilet clean. Some child's mother or father is spending 8 hours a day cleaning other people's mess. They deserve something. I won't ask how many of you have done that job. Friends, go in there and give them something they don't expect. Do it and see the change in them, but more importantly, see the change in you. It works every time. If you pull in at a filling station and the petrol attendant is angry, sometimes they look like they're going to hijack you, they're so angry. Take out something they don't expect and give it to them, and notice the power of kindness. Give them something they don't expect and notice the change in their face. But more importantly, notice the change in you. Kindness always comes back to you. Investing in outcomes. I'm driving back from the little town of Bloemfontein, and I pull in at this filling station, and the attendant comes over, and his one leg is that much shorter than the other leg. And he comes to the car, and he fills the car, And I've made a promise that I would give something if this meeting I went to went the way I wanted to. I would give something special to the first disadvantaged person who came across. So I gave this petrol attendant something he really didn't expect. And I will never forget the change on his face. And I'll never forget the change in the way I felt. And I will never forget seeing this man with one short leg running off to tell his friends what had just happened. Friends, kindness is wow. I suggest to you, kindness is a powerful remedy, because anything that makes your heart smile will make you better and improve your vitality. Opportunities lost. Over here we have a beggar. How many of us realize that this is a golden opportunity? A golden opportunity to bless, to be blessed, to improve your health, to make every cell in your body smile, to create an unforgettable memory, and to receive more that you might give more. In South Africa, don't we have a lot of opportunities? Every traffic light, there's an opportunity to do something. Sure, you can't help them all, but see them as opportunities, not as beggars. I submit to you that kindness sees wow opportunities in adversity. Always. And so, friends, I want you to take what I've said so far, and I want us to just go silent for a minute, and I want you to have a look at a few opportunities right now. Quietly, please consider opportunity. 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 What went wrong? What is happening in our world, friends? This is the world we live in. Tonight when you go to bed, I want you to lay your head on the pillow, and I want you to realize that half of this country's people are going to bed hungry tonight. You see, we can live in our little glass palaces and pretend that everything is okay, but the truth is, it's terrible out there. It's horrible. Moms and dads have both been made redundant. There are situations out there that are beyond belief. Don't pretend they're not there. They are there. And only kindness can change it. And so we come to more conclusions. Number 4, the giver of kindness benefits more than the receiver of kindness. Number 5, being kind to others is the kindest thing you can do to yourself. Will you remember that? Number 6, we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Number 7, these are the words of Einstein. Without deep reflection, one knows from daily life that one exists for other people. Conclusion number 8, if we all do just a little, we all can do so much. And so I want to encourage you to be proactive in being kind. It's the nicest thing you can do for yourself. Go into any old age home and ask the matron who's the loneliest person in this old age home. And she will show you to that person, and all you have to do is sit there and say, now tell me about your life. And they will talk, and they will talk, and they will talk. And when they've spoken for 3 hours, say, now tell me about your children. And they will talk, and they will talk. They are so lonely, they are forgotten. I met one lady who's been lying in a bed for 15 years, in bed for 15 years without one single visitor from her family or friends. It's horrific, friends. Go to an orphanage, adopt a project, make a difference, do something. Any beggar is an opportunity. So we can never say, I cannot afford to be kind. We can say that I cannot afford to not be kind. And so I give you an invitation. Today I have shared with you, take what we've shared with you today and go out and practice proactive kindness. Do it because kindness is fun. Do it because kindness costs nothing. Do it because kindness is wow. I close with a conversation that a man had with God. He came to God and he said, "Dear God, why don't you do something about the hunger and the hurting and the heartache and the horror and the hopelessness and the homelessness in the world?" And God says, "But I did do something." And the man says, "What do you mean you did do something?" And God said to the man, "Yes, I did do something. I made you." And so, friends, I leave you with an opportunity. Please remember, every needy case is an opportunity. So please do not let your opportunities go begging. Bless them, and you will be blessed. Thank you.